Listen up, because I'm about to hit you with a reality check that most people will never have the guts to tell you. You can't have it all. No, it's not a motivational gimmick or some empty phrase. It's the harsh truth. You can't chase 10 things and expect to succeed in all of them. If you think you can juggle a full-time job, personal goals, social media fame, a perfect relationship, physical fitness, and financial freedom all at once, you're setting yourself up for failure. The truth is, life doesn't work like that. People who seem to have it all, the ones you envy on social media, the ones who seem to have it all figured out, they didn't get there by balancing everything at once. You see, what they did was focus, and they made sacrifices you wouldn't dare to make. While you were out partying or juggling a dozen side hustles, they were going all in on one thing that mattered, and that's how they're where they are today. Let me break it to you. You cannot live a successful life without sacrificing something. You can't have the big career and the six-pack abs. You can't have the freedom to travel the world and also build a high-performance business. You can't balance your time between your family, your friendships, and your grind without eventually feeling the heat. Something will always give, and if you're not careful, it will be your dreams that end up falling apart. The world rewards focus, not multitasking. You can't give 50% of yourself to 10 different things and expect to dominate in any of them. No, that's not how success works. Success comes when you decide to focus on one thing and put your energy into it with 100% of your mind, your body, and your soul. Anything less, and you'll end up scattered, weak, and unsuccessful. It's not about being busy. It's about being effective. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. And to work smarter, you need to choose the path of sacrifice. You need to have the courage to let go of things that don't align with your goals. Because here's the truth. If you want to achieve greatness, you'll have to let go of mediocrity. You have to let go of mediocrity. Hyatt. If you want to build an empire, you can't be chasing distractions. You need to focus, period. You have two options. You can continue to dabble in everything and spread yourself thin, trying to do it all. Or you can make the decision to go all in on what matters. To go all in means sacrificing other things that in the long run aren't going to get you where you want to go. The key is not about having it all, but knowing what to focus on. You see, most people are out here making a big mistake. They think they can juggle it all, their career, their fitness, their social lives, their family, their passions, and they wonder why they're stuck. The truth is, they're not actually progressing in any of these areas because they haven't put their full effort into any of them. Well, it's dumb. Instead, they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off, jumping from one thing to the next, never achieving anything of real value. Let's take a hard look at the modern world. Everywhere you turn, there's a new distraction. New apps, new trends, new opportunities to chase. Social media is a toxic jungle that encourages this shallow, illusionary success where everyone is trying to do it all. But here's the thing, doing it all is a myth. That's why most people never achieve greatness. They get so caught up in this idea that they have to be everything to everyone that they never become anything of substance. They spread themselves too thin, and ultimately, they end up with nothing. Here's the real kicker. People are terrified of making choices. They don't want to commit to one thing because they're afraid of missing out on other things. So they try to juggle a million balls in the air at once and wonder why they can't succeed. Newsflash, your fear of missing out is the thing that's keeping you stuck in the first place. Do you know what the most successful people in the world have in common? They choose what to focus on and block everything else out. They go all in on what matters, and they do not waste time on things that do not serve their ultimate goal. If you want to have it all, you need to stop trying to juggle everything. You need to make ruthless decisions about where to invest your time, your energy, and your money. Cut the distractions. Stop chasing 100 things at once and focus on the one thing that will give you the life you want. Focus on mastery, not mediocrity. I'm telling you this because I don't want you to end up like the millions of other people who are stuck in a cycle of chasing empty promises. The real truth is that success requires sacrifice. It's about choosing the hard path, choosing the discomfort of focus over the illusion of balance. It's about doubling down on the thing that matters most and letting everything else fall by the wayside. And if you're not willing to make that decision, if you're not willing to give up the distractions, then don't be surprised when you end up with nothing. But here's the thing, you have a choice. You don't have to live like the rest of the world, running around and pretending to have it all together. You don't have to chase everything and end up with nothing. You can choose to get serious, to get focused, and to go all in on what matters. The difference between success and failure isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. And the smartest thing you can do is focus on the one thing that will change your life and sacrifice everything else that gets in your way. Let me hit you with a brutal truth. You're wasting your time. You're spreading yourself thin trying to be everything to everyone. You're trying to juggle a million things, and yet you wonder why you're getting nowhere. It's because you're doing too much and achieving nothing. You're not going to win this game by trying to balance a dozen different things. You're going to win by focusing all your energy, all your resources on the one thing that will change your life. And that one thing is not what you think. You've bought into this lie that you need to be a well-rounded. You need to be good at everything. You need to be that a perfect key person who has a great career, a perfect body, an amazing social life, and the best relationships. The reality is, those people are out there spinning their wheels. They're going nowhere. They're stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. You can't do everything well. You can only do one thing well, and you have to pick what matters. You think you can maintain a high-level career, travel the world, get in shape, and stay in touch with all your friends? That's a fantasy. It's a lie the world sold you to keep you stuck in the rat race. The truth is, you need to choose. You need to decide what matters. And once you make that decision, you need to go all in. Most people are afraid of making that decision. They're scared to let go of things that don't serve them. They're scared to commit to one goal, one vision, because they're afraid they'll miss out. But you know what? You're already missing out. By trying to chase every opportunity, you're diluting your power, your energy, and your potential. You're wasting your time and your talent, and the world doesn't care about your excuses. No one will remember you for trying to do everything. They'll remember you for mastering something, for dominating it. Get this through your head. You can't have everything, and that's a blessing. The moment you realize that is the moment you can stop chasing distractions and start chasing success. Success requires sacrifice, and when you sacrifice what doesn't matter, you free up your focus, your time, and your energy for what does. You need to stop trying to be everything and start being great at one thing. The world rewards focus, not multitasking. If you want to succeed, you need to cut out the noise. All the side projects, the half-assed attempts at different things, they're just pulling you away from the only thing that will move the needle in your life. And that thing is the one thing you refuse to focus on because you're too busy doing everything else. Let's talk about the reality of the situation. You've got a full-time job, you're trying to start a side business, you're working on your fitness, you're trying to spend time with family and friends, and you've got a million other things on your plate. On your plate. But let's be honest. None of those things are getting your 100% effort. You're giving 50% here, 40% there, and maybe a 10% to something else. You're not winning because you're not all in on anything. The people who are crushing it in this world, they've chosen their battle. They're not running around like chickens with their heads cut off. They are focused. They've chosen one thing, whether it's their business, their body, their passion, and they've gone all in. They didn't spread themselves out. They didn't chase the shiny object. They decided what mattered and put everything they had into it. It's not about being busy. It's about being effective. You can be busy all day long and get absolutely nothing done. You can run around checking off tasks, but if those tasks don't align with your ultimate goal, then you're just wasting time. And time is the one thing you can never get back. Here's the brutal truth. You'll never achieve greatness trying to do everything. You have to make a choice. You have to choose one thing that will move the needle. And then you need to go all in on it. Drop everything else. You don't need to be on every social media platform. You don't need to have a million hobbies. You don't need to chase everything that glitters. With everything that glitters, you need to choose your mission, your vision, and make that your life's purpose. If you want to make millions, if you want to build a body that commands respect, if you want to have a lifestyle that others envy, then you have to commit to the grind, And that grind means focusing on one thing and making the sacrifices necessary to succeed. You can't have it all, but what you can have is greatness in the one area that matters. I don't care what your excuses are. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. You don't need more time. You need more time. You need more focus. You need more discipline. You need to cut out the distractions that are keeping you from doing what matters. And if you can't do that, then don't complain when you're stuck at the bottom. You see, most people are too scared to make the hard decisions. They're too scared to say, no, this isn't working, and then cut it out of their lives. They want to hold on to everything because they're afraid of missing out. But what you don't understand is that by holding on to everything, you're missing out on success. You're missing out on the one thing that will make a difference in your life. You're missing out on the grind that will get you everything you want. So I'll say it again, stop trying to be everything. You're not a superhero. You're not going to win by doing everything. A win by doing everything. You'll win by mastering one thing. Make the decision. Focus. Go all in and leave everything else behind. That's the price of greatness. Let's talk about ownership. Most people in this world are waiting for someone else to fix their problems. They blame their upbringing, their boss, their circumstances, and their failures on everyone but themselves. And that's exactly why they'll never win. If you're not taking extreme ownership over every outcome in your life, you are already losing. You want to succeed? You want to build wealth, power, influence? Well, guess what? You need to stop pointing fingers and start pointing at yourself. Your failures, your setbacks, the things that didn't go as planned, those are your fault. Own it. No excuses, no blaming anyone or anything else. It's all on you. The moment you take full responsibility for everything in your life, that's when you gain control. You see, successful people aren't sitting around complaining about the things they can't control. They focus on what they can control, their effort, their decisions, their mindset, their actions. It's not about luck or being in the right place at the right time. It's about owning the things you can control and making the most of them. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you took full ownership of your mistakes? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and said, oh, that failure was mine. I could have done more. I could have done better. I'll bet you haven't. And that's why you're stuck. You're stuck in the cycle of making excuses. You're waiting for things to magically get better, but they won't. The only way they get better is when you decide to own the situation and own your future. Take ownership of your career. Take ownership of your fitness. Take ownership of your relationships. Take ownership of your financial situation. Everything you are, everything you have is a result of the choices you've made. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're a product of your decisions. You may not be able to control what happens to you in the external world, but you sure as hell can control how you react to it, how you respond, and the steps you take to turn the situation around. And that's power. Let's get this straight. You're not gonna win by blaming someone else. If your business is failing, don't blame the economy. Don't blame the competition. Don't blame bad luck. Own it. You didn't work hard enough. You didn't adapt. You didn't learn enough. You didn't hustle when you should have. The market didn't let you down. You let yourself down. Let yourself down. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you'll be able to take the right steps to fix the problem and get back on track. If you're in bad shape, don't blame your genes or your metabolism. Own it. You didn't eat the right food. You didn't hit the gym. You didn't push yourself. Your lack of discipline, your lack of consistency. That's what kept you from reaching your goals. Your excuses are irrelevant. What matters is what you choose to do right now. Stop being a coward and stop giving away your power. If you can't take ownership of your failures, then you're not ready to take ownership of your success. And the truth is, success isn't given to the weak. It's given to those who take full accountability for everything they do, whether it's a victory or a loss. You'll never climb to the top if you're too busy blaming everyone else for your struggles. You have to look yourself in the eye and say, I'm responsible for this, no one else. When you take ownership, you also gain clarity. When you realize that everything, good and bad, is within your control, you stop being a victim and start being a creator. You stop waiting for opportunities to fall in your lap and start going after them. You stop blaming your boss for not promoting you and start asking yourself, what do I need to do to deserve that promotion? You stop complaining about your bank balance and start asking, what skills do I need to acquire to make more money? The more you own, the more power you have. The more responsibility you take on, the more freedom you gain. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's true. When you take full responsibility for your life, your decisions, and your actions, you gain the freedom to change them. You can move faster, you can pivot when necessary, and you can make better decisions because you know that everything is on you. Stop thinking that your problems are out of your control. That's the lie that keeps you stuck. And as long as you continue to believe it, you'll never be able to break free from mediocrity. Own your life, own your decisions, and own your success. If you truly want to win, you have to accept that you are the one who got you here. Good or bad, this is all on you. And once you realize that once you accept it, you will gain an unstoppable sense of responsibility, power, and drive. The excuses vanish, the pity party ends. It's all on you, and that's the most empowering thing you can ever realize. So take ownership today. Own your flaws, own your failures, own your failures. Own your mistakes, own the things you didn't do, own the things you should have done. Only then can you take the right steps forward, make the right changes, and turn your life into something extraordinary. Listen up. You can have all the talent, all the opportunities, and all the resources in the world, but if you lack discipline, you'll fall flat on your face. It's not the people with the most potential who win. It's the ones who refuse to quit. The ones who push through when it gets tough. The ones who refuse to give up when everyone else is tapping out. Discipline is the foundation that separates the successful from the failures. You want to succeed? You want power, money, and respect? You're going to need a level of discipline that most people don't even understand. You need to embrace a lifestyle where comfort isn't an option, where mediocrity isn't an excuse. Discipline isn't a choice, it's a necessity. And here's the cold truth. Most people think they can work hard for a short period and get what they want. They'll hustle for a week, a month, maybe even a year, but when the grind gets real, they break. They fall back into their old habits, give in to their temptations, and make excuses. They tell themselves, it's too hard, I'm not seeing results, or I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. The difference between winners and losers isn't talent, it's discipline. Discipline is the ability to stay the course even when things suck. It's the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it, no matter how you feel. It's about pushing past the pain, past the fatigue, and past the doubts to do what you promised yourself you would do. The best part? You don't need to be motivated all the time. In fact, you can expect motivation to be a fleeting and unreliable source of energy. Discipline, on the other hand, is consistent. It's reliable. When you don't feel like getting up at 5 a.m. to work on your goals, discipline is what gets you out of bed. When you don't want to hit the gym, discipline is what gets you there. When you feel like quitting, discipline is what keeps you going. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care how much you want to throw in the towel. You can either embrace discipline or let it crush you. There is no in between. There's no in between. The reason most people never reach their full potential is because they don't understand the price of success. They think success is handed to them because they work hard for a few weeks, maybe even a few months. But the truth is, you have to show up every day. And most people don't want to. Look at the people who make it to the top. Do you think they're any smarter than you? Do you think they have something you don't? No, they simply have one thing most people don't: discipline. They've learned how to get up every day, do the work, and keep going even when it's hard. They've embraced discomfort. They don't let their emotions dictate their actions. When it gets tough, they double down. They don't quit. It's time to stop living like an amateur. It's time to stop telling yourself you'll do it tomorrow. Start doing it today. Whatever it is, take action now. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for motivation to strike. The perfect moment will never come, and motivation will never last. Discipline is what will get you through the hard days, the long nights, and the obstacles that are inevitably going to be in your way. I know you're thinking, but how do I start? Well, it's simple. You start right now. You pick one thing that's been holding you back, and you make it a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. Whether it's waking up early, reading a book, hitting the gym, or finishing that project you've been procrastinating on, commit to it. No excuses. No matter how tired you are, no matter how bad the weather is, no matter what's happening in your life, you will follow through. Because that's what discipline is. Doing what you said you'd do, even when it's uncomfortable. Once you get that one thing down, move on to the next. But start with something small. Build momentum. Discipline isn't about doing everything at once. It's about stacking small wins, one after the other, until they build a mountain. And the more you win, the more you'll crave the next win. You'll start to see how much power you actually have when you stop making excuses. It's all about consistency. You need to become relentless. Don't wait for the magic to happen. Don't wait for someone to motivate you. Don't wait for things to get easier. They won't. You make your own path. You make your own success. And that success comes through discipline. So get rid of the distractions. Get rid of the distractions. Get rid of the excuses. Get rid of the weak mindset that's holding you back. The time for excuses is over. Embrace the grind. Embrace the discomfort. You can do this. You will do this. Discipline is your key to freedom, your key to success, and your key to creating the life you've always wanted. Let's get one thing straight. Failure is not something you should fear. It's something you should embrace. I'm not here to coddle you, to sugarcoat things, or tell you it's going to be easy. Life is a battlefield, and those who fear failure get slaughtered. Those who use failure as a stepping stone rise above the rest. You see, people who are too scared of failing never do anything. They live their lives in a constant state of hesitation, second-guessing their every move. And in the end, they accomplish nothing. They are paralyzed by fear. They never even start because they're so terrified of what might go wrong. But that's exactly why you will never achieve what you want. You can't win by sitting on the sidelines, hoping that success will come to you. You need to be willing to step into the ring, get your hands dirty, and fail. The truth is, failure is part of the process. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. Failure isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign that you're actually doing something. When you fail, you get better. You learn. You grow. You figure out what didn't work and you adjust your strategy. It's the winners who fail the most, because they're the ones putting themselves out there, taking risks and pushing boundaries. The rest of the world is stuck in mediocrity because they're too scared to fail. Let me break it down for you. Think about the biggest names in history. The people who are at the top of their game. They didn't get there by playing it safe. They didn't get there by avoiding mistakes. They got there by failing over and over again. Failure is the price of success. There's no other way around it. Take Elon Musk, for example. You think he just woke up one day and built SpaceX and Tesla out of nowhere? Hell no. He failed countless times, but each failure led to a lesson. He learned what didn't work, adapted, and kept moving forward. The same goes for Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, and every other successful entrepreneur you can think of. They failed. A lot. But they didn't let it break them. They used it to fuel their next move, and that's why they're at the top today. We're at the top today. But here's the kicker. People don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they lack mental toughness. They give up too soon. They hit one roadblock and immediately back down. They take their failures as signs of defeat. You want to be successful? You need to toughen up. You need to toughen up. Failure isn't the end. It's the beginning of your next step. Every failure gives you the opportunity to reassess, to learn, to adjust, and to come back even stronger. If you quit after failing, you've already lost. The true winners are the ones who keep going even when it seems impossible, even when everything is stacked against them. You need to start seeing failure in a new light. Failure is not the enemy. Failure is your ally. It's the best teacher you'll ever have. It's the best teacher you'll ever have. It's the only way you'll ever get better at anything. If you're not failing, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. You need to embrace the grind, face your fears, and keep moving forward. Dear Steve, moving forward. Let me be clear, you're going to fail. That's inevitable. But what you do with that failure will determine your success. Do you let it break you? Or do you let it make you stronger? The choice is yours. Choice is yours. When you're struggling, when you're facing setbacks, when you feel like you can't keep going, that's when you need to dig in and push harder than ever before. Failure is not a reason to quit. It's a reason to push through. You've heard the phrase, fail forward, must veil forward. That's not just some motivational quote. It's the truth. You want to be successful, you have to fail forward. Learn from your mistakes, adjust your approach, and keep climbing. The more you fail, the more you'll learn. And the more you learn, and the more you learn, the faster you'll grow. I know it sounds brutal. It is. But brutality is what you need to get ahead. You need to be ruthless with your goals, and that means learning to embrace failure. The world isn't going to hand you success on a silver platter. You have to go out there and fight for it. And every battle you lose is just one step closer to victory. Stop running from failure. Welcome it. Use it. Make it your weapon. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Get used to failing. Choose to fail. Get used to the rejection, the setbacks, and the challenges. And then, when you've had enough of it, that's when you're going to start seeing success. So take your hits, learn from them, and keep going. Failure is the price you pay for success, and trust me, it's worth it. Let me make this crystal clear. The world doesn't owe you a damn thing. You're not entitled to success. You're not entitled to respect. You're not entitled to anything just because you exist. Life doesn't care about your feelings, your excuses, or your sob story. The sooner you realize this, the better off you'll be. It's time to stop whining and waiting for permission. No one is coming to save you. No one cares about your problems. There is no magic hand that's going to come down and lift you up when you fall. Success is something you have to fight for. If you're sitting around waiting for things to get handed to you, you're already lost. You're already behind. Too many people think that just because they want something, they're entitled to it. They think that if they work hard enough or ask nicely enough, success will just fall into their lap. Newsflash, it won't. The world doesn't care about your efforts if you don't have the courage to make things happen. You can wait forever, and nothing will change. The reality is you have to take it. You have to earn it. Nobody's going to walk up to you and say, "Hey, you've been working hard for a few months. Now you deserve to get paid." No, that's not how it works. You have to demand your seat at the table. If you're not showing up, nobody cares. If you're not putting in the work, nobody's gonna notice. You have to make yourself impossible to ignore. You have to be relentless in your pursuit of success, and you can't sit around waiting for someone else to give you permission to go after your dreams. I don't care if you have a degree, a certificate, or some other piece of paper that says you're qualified. No one cares. You think your qualifications matter? The world doesn't care what letters you have after your name. All that matters is what you've done. All that matters is what you bring to the table. There's this sickening belief in society that you need someone's permission to succeed. That's why people get stuck in 9-to-5 jobs, working for a boss they hate, struggling to make ends meet. They're waiting for someone to recognize their value. They're waiting for someone to tell them they deserve a promotion. It's pathetic. What's the most dangerous thing you can do in today's world? Wait. Wait for a break. Wait for an opportunity. Wait for the perfect moment. If you're waiting, you're losing. You're losing. The world is full of people who think they deserve things just because they exist. They think that just because they're trying, they should be rewarded. But here's the cold, hard truth. The world doesn't owe you anything. If you want something, you have to go out and take it. No one's going to give it to you. No one's going to hand it to you on a silver platter. Truth. Silver platter. You're not entitled to success. You're entitled to the opportunity to fight for it. And if you're not willing to fight, you might as well get out of the way, because there's a line of people behind you who are ready to take what you want. Think about the top performers. The guys who are at the top of their game in business, in sports, in life. Do you think they sat around waiting for someone to recognize their talent? Do you think they waited for someone to give them permission to succeed? Absolutely not. They went after it with everything they had. They made things happen. They took risks. They didn't ask for permission. They didn't beg for opportunities. They built their own path and demanded success. You need to stop sitting around hoping someone will notice you. You need to stop waiting for someone to give you a chance. The world is not interested in your excuses. If you want something, take it. If you want success, take it. You're the only one who can make it happen for you. If you're waiting for permission, waiting for the right time, waiting for things to align perfectly, then you'll be waiting forever. You'll be stuck in the same place while the rest of the world passes you by. Stop waiting for a sign. Stop waiting for a golden opportunity. The only opportunity that matters is the one you create yourself. You need to get in the game, start hustling, and make it happen. Understand this, nobody cares about your dreams. It's harsh, but it's the truth. If you want to succeed, you have to get up, get your hands dirty, and put in the work. No one is going to give you a pass, and no one is going to hand you success. So the next time you're thinking about waiting for an opportunity, ask yourself, what am I waiting for? Why am I not creating my own opportunities? Stop waiting for the world to hand you what you want. Go out and take it. What you want. Go out and take it. The world doesn't owe you anything. You have to make it happen, and you have to do it now. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is right now. Get up, get to work, and take what you want. The truth is undeniable. The world doesn't owe you a damn thing. Stop living in a fantasy where you believe success is handed to those who wait patiently or ask for permission. You want it. Go take it. Make the sacrifices. Take the risks. Fight harder than anyone else around you, and make yourself impossible to ignore. There are no shortcuts, no handouts. No shortcuts, no handouts. You have to prove yourself every single day. Get rid of the idea that just because you're working hard, someone will reward you. Success is earned, not given. No one is coming to rescue you, and you don't need their permission. The sooner you realize this and embrace the cold, hard truth, the sooner you'll start making real progress. The only limit you have is the one you put on yourself. So stop waiting. Stop sitting around wishing things would change. Make it happen. If you want it, go out and take it with everything you've got. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe it to yourself to be relentless in your pursuit of greatness. Keep grinding, keep moving forward, and never stop until you've reached the top. That's the only way to truly win. Truly win. It's all on you. Get to work and let the world see you rise.